Hi there, this is John Wilkinson again from History Made Easier, looking at Chiang Kai-shek's tactics to oust Mao from his base at Jiangxi. These are the encirclement campaigns, 5 in total, from 1930 through to 1934, which evolved from swift, direct assaults in the initial campaigns to a methodical blockhouse strategy of fortified containment in the 5th and final campaign. Now, we can put a bit of detail on that. So here goes. In the first 4 campaigns, 1930 through to 1933, Chiang's nationalist forces used their advantage of far greater numbers, primarily employing a strategy of rapid, deep penetration, a drive straight through policy, advancing quickly into the heart of the communist base area. There were 100,000 troops in the first campaign, increasing to 200,000, then 300,000, then 500,000 in the later campaigns. Chiang himself took over as commander-in-chief of the third and subsequent campaigns, which also quickly followed the second campaign so as to give the communists no time to reorganize their defenses. Troops from regional warlords were used, which did mean that they were not as coordinated as they needed to be, nor as committed. But their biggest problem was that their supply lines were overextended and vulnerable to ambushes from Mao's guerrilla forces. Artillery was used, and in the 4th campaign, air support for reconnaissance but also for bombing raids. Also in the 4th campaign, blockhouses or fortifications were built around the perimeter of the Soviet, and it's this that would be developed in the last campaign. For the 5th and last campaign, following the advice of German military advisors, notably Hans von Ziegt and Alexander von Falkenhausen, Chiang adopted a more methodical approach. This was the blockhouse strategy, which involved constructing thousands of small, interconnected, heavily fortified blockhouses, as territory was captured from the communists. These were strongly built, with walls up to 20 feet thick, and with barbed wire guarding the approaches. They were capable of holding a company, anything between 80 and 250 soldiers. Searchlights would help defend them at night, and they would be equipped with machine guns and mortars. Chiang's troops would then advance slowly and methodically, building new fortified lines every few kilometres in an arc stretching more than 300 kilometres. And as the encirclement crept forward, more and more blockhouses were built. In the end, there were 14,000 of them. In this way, the base area held by the communists reduced more and more as the campaign went on, slowly but surely squeezing the life out of the Soviets' ability to continue. This systematic approach ensured that the nationalists could consolidate their hold on territory they had gained and secure it against communist counterattacks. The blockhouses also created an iron ring that cut off the communist supply lines, preventing food, medicine, and their own guerrilla forces from entering or leaving the territory they still held. This economic strangulation was a crucial element of the strategy. It also meant that the nationalists could build new road links between the blockhouses, enabling them to rapidly deploy their men and supplies wherever they were needed. So, Mao's tactic of flexible response, moving his guerrilla fighters around, was no longer as effective as it had been. In fact, the nationalists were isolating guerrilla groups and picking them off, and forcing the communists into conventional battles on terms favourable to the nationalists. So, a short presentation for you, but I think it's packed with useful information for you, and I hope it leaves you with a better understanding of the Kuomintang's strategies and tactics in trying to get the communists out of Jiangxi. Now, if you haven't already done so, do please subscribe to my channel and give a thumbs up to my videos. Give me the motivation to keep posting them. Oh, and do please tell your friends about them too. But for now, let me thank you so much for listening and wish you the very best of luck with your studies. Cheers.